Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Plenty of drama right now in the Call of Duty scene. We've got Doug Censor back at it again, baby. He matched his tally for Modern Warfare 2019, dropping a 7 bomb, before just a few hours later dropping a 6 bomb and breaking his own record. Meanwhile, Crimsix with some rather interesting words for Rambo after their drama of the last couple of seasons. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thanks very much indeed for doing that. Loads of new support over the past few days. I really do appreciate it. Firstly, from Vegas, because of course they've been looking pretty good so far. They took down London 8-0 yesterday in Scrims. Yes, I think Clay had host, but still, nonetheless, impressive stuff from them. And apparently it's going to get even better. TJ reckons here that he kept going on streaks and wasn't getting his kill streaks, right? He was like, okay, what's going on here? It's been days now. Don has been counting his kills. Turns out TJ Halley had the score streaks on the whole time. I think there's a setting in the game where you change score streaks to kill streaks. That's the way that generally it will make sense to do in this particular game, and TJ had the score streaks on instead. And even as Temp says, what's going on here? I know when everyone is a one-off streak, so it's pretty impressive from Donny if he actually has that kind of awareness in the game to keep up with exactly what's going on, has an eye on the kill feed, has an eye on what his teammates are calling out to know that, okay, yeah, my teammate's on a 5, like their player's on a 4 and a 5, and okay, there were a couple of streaks. It's always kind of a big talking point in the communications when, you know, someone goes on a 3 or 4 kill streak on the other team. The team says, hey, watch them, they're one-off streaks or whatever. Like, you know, be careful of them. They're here, they're there. We got to get the trade on him, this type of stuff. Always an important factor in comms. Interesting that Donny has a good idea what his own teammates are up to as well, even if they're not paying attention. And apparently they've now figured out why TJ wasn't getting his streaks over the past few days. And maybe that's going to take them to an even new level once they unlock this new ability. Quickly on Standy, this another classic Standy deleted tweet. Thanks to a couple of guys who pointed this out to me, but thought it was pretty interesting. Chalk your scrim cowards and play the big dogs at Assault and Exceed at Joe Deceives. You're loading into a scrim against these trash cans. So pretty spicy. Of course, Assault Exceed Joe Deceives on the, well, we saw it the other day, right? The Los Angeles Guerrillas Academy roster. And apparently, I don't know if they like sketched on Toronto for the scrim or what the situation was here, but clearly Standy wants them to scrim the Toronto guys, Standy and co. And yet they're going into a different scrim instead. So unfortunately, I don't really know who they were meant to be scrimming against or who they did end up scrimming against. And therefore, who Standy is kind of directing these remarks at. But still, I just thought another classic here from the king of the tweet deleters, Mr. Standy. Quickly from Bance as well. Apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, Black Ops aim assist gives you quicker sprint to fire. This may be fake news, but this may be legitimate. I know that a lot of people have said that Black Ops aim assist is the way to go. Don't really understand why there's multiple aim assists, to be honest. Can't there just be one aim assist? Do we need dynamic and linear and all the other ones we have nowadays? Especially because everyone's figured out that really Black Ops aim assist and dynamic is the way to go anyway. So, you know, everyone just uses it anyway if you know what you're doing. So it's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, apparently this gives you quicker sprint to fire time. I don't know if this is true. Bance might be just trolling around. But yeah, this game never ceases to amaze if indeed this is the case. Get exclusive ace on that one to do some testing. Let's talk about Crimsix then, because I mean, yeah, Crim the last few days, he's been having some entertaining streams. He was playing in this 5v5 tournament the other day, and while he was getting ready for it with the, well, what looks like a Magnum or whatever. They probably don't call it a Magnum in this game because seemingly every weapon that has any sort of name, they've changed the name of it because maybe for copyright issues, but obviously they didn't really think about the copyright issues of all those maps they copied from real life. But yeah, he was playing in these tournaments, having a good time, and we know the last couple of seasons for Crim, it's not really been the best couple of years. The Dallas Empire situation going from there and effectively getting potentially the chance to join up with the OpTic merger, and then the team didn't want to do it, effectively got vetoed by Rambo or whatever. Doesn't end up happening. The New York situation last year wasn't so good, and it's an interesting world now where Crimsix, despite having all the accolades on his side, the community kind of says, you know what, you know, Scump's the GOAT or whatever. You know, that was a big conversation that's being had, especially because Scump's been around for one more season than Crimsix is going to be in his career. And these words just for Rambo quickly, because like they used to be, I thought, pretty good friends, got on relatively well, certainly during the Dallas Empire days early on. Crim and Rambo had a decent relationship going on there, but as things kind of went south for that organization, and of course in the end they decided to move away from him after the merger with OpTic Texas, he's not necessarily been on great terms with Rambo. The beef there does certainly seem to be real to a certain degree, especially with the words that Crim has to say in this clip.
Yeah, but that was before Empire. That was at the end of oh, you're saying that. No, I mean, dude, I'm man enough, dude. I did the one thing I don't think any other pro has done, which was when you got dropped, right? Admitted, like, okay, I deserved it. Like, I firmly, but yeah, like, I'm not mad at Ant anymore. You know what I mean? For wanting to drop me. But honestly, Ray can go. Ray can go eat shit and die.
Ray who?
Rambo.
Rambo Ray.
That guy can honestly go.
Yo, is Rambo okay? Yo, that's.
I mean, bro. I said I'll come back to OpTic, right? But only to coach. So they have to kick Ray, and then I would just be like, nah, I don't think I want it anymore, you know, and then just dip. So now they don't have a coach. Bridges are burned.
So I think if there's anything that's true, it's probably that Crimsix went rather too far in those comments. Not really sure why he had to say what he said there. You know, I don't know. In my opinion, it's not exactly helping Crimsix's legacy in a way. Crim ideally could have retired as the greatest of all time. I mean, look, if you look back at his last season on New York, it was a very impressive season, all things considered. Not many pros ever, I think there's only very few ever, that have won an event in their final season competing. Crim being one of them right on the prime last season, made that miraculous run to the World Championship, but all the drama behind the scenes has certainly caught up with them over the last couple of years, and from seemingly a pretty good relationship with Rambo at the start of the 2021 season, that went south quickly. The team got frustrated with his antics and everything, and then when the merger went down, the team was like, yeah, no way we're teaming with Crim another year, that's just, you know, not going to happen, right? And Crim actually responded with these comments here on the Reddit, so he says, look, it's not that serious, please connect the dots, guys. I've stated multiple times that I should have been dropped, or I deserve to get dropped from the team, but look, so maybe he's right about that, and he does admit that indeed, yeah, it was kind of his fault why he got dropped from that Dallas Empire situation at the end of the season, but nonetheless, the comments were probably a little bit out of line. Now, it's time to talk about Doug Center Martin, maybe, because we saw the other day the Boston Breach Academy, they were playing in the Breaking Point Next tournament, they came third there. There was a chance they did a little bit better than that. Unfortunately, they fell short. If Doug was in the grand finals, would have been good to see if he could, yeah, potentially extend that record of grand finals victories. iLLeY's going to get back in business as well, so he reckons he's good to go for the new season. But yeah, we saw in that tournament, Doug was not always having the greatest time. There was the final map that he actually played in the tourney. He started off the game 8-2. It was looking so good. Doug was like absolutely fine, getting the hill time. 8 kills, 2 deaths off the start of the fortress. They had a nice lead. Then from there to the end of the game, I think he went 8-28, or maybe 8-29, I don't know. Didn't have the greatest time. And I don't know, it's kind of funny. Like, Doug got a little bit positive, and then it was like, oh, I can't go positive. Time to start dying a lot. Gets put in the absolute blender. It does seem like he's a little bit allergic to going positive at times. Now, last night, this is pretty funny. Tactical Academy do a bagger tweet here because he dropped 7 kills in this match they play. I guess it's just 8 or whatever. But look, Doug, you've got to respect this guy. I'm sure that his teammates, despite the fact that he might not be great in this game and doesn't have great numbers, like, they must enjoy playing with him to some degree because he is going to get your hill time. He is going to get insane amounts of time at the hard point. He's always playing the objective. He's like, right now, still competing, probably one of the just OG objective players that is still about to this day. And you see it in Search and Destroy as well. This guy carries the bomb. He doesn't care if he throws his life away to get the bomb down if that's the best thing for his team. And yes, he might not have the mechanical ability of other players, but I can still see why he gets good teams. And also, he's Doug Center Martin, so he's got the personality. But yeah, a couple of clips to share from last night. Firstly, this one where he drops 7 again. They actually win this map here. So he gets 2.5 minutes in the hard point, 7 kills, and it gets the job done. But then the next time later in the day they play this game, this actually is up against the Academy roster with Doug on it. And he actually breaks his own record from that famous clip with Formal and Doug Center Martin back in Modern Warfare 2019 and drops 6 kills. Doesn't really seem like these Modern Warfare games are built for Doug.
Let's go.
I'm not moving on this hill.
Yo, outer, another one top. Top. Up the time. I'm one shot. Oh my god, bro.
Let's go! Let's go!
7!
Let's go, baby!
7?
Yes, sir! 7! Let's go!
7? 7?
6! 6! 6! We got a new Doug meme! Yo, put it on the timeline! Screenshot it! You, Doug! I'm just kidding, I love you, Doug.
Oh, man.
So Doug was joking around about this, let's go, baby, but it must be said that compared to, I don't know, Vanguard, honestly, I thought Doug was a pretty solid, decent player. Like, okay, it wasn't going to be spectacular or anything, but from what I saw, for most of the time, he wasn't dropping 0.6s. In our tournament in the Breaking Point Next tourney, he had about a 0.65 overall, wasn't so good. Now, yes, he's getting the hill times, he's getting the bomb plants, but at the end of the day, it's not always quite going to be enough, and he dropped 6 kills here. It's kind of unfortunate scenes, but look, he's getting memed on, he's going to own it, obviously. But yeah, I don't know, Modern Warfare 2019 2019 wasn't Doug's greatest game. Vanguard was probably his best game for the last couple of years, I would say. And if this game, Modern Warfare 2, doesn't really suit him so well, it's tough to see how this year's going to go for Doug, right? Because look, he's on the Boston Breach Academy. They can't really drop him from his own team because it kind of is his own situation, right? The Boston guys have kind of built that around him, and Doug will always get a decent spot somewhere just because of who he is. But he is prone to the occasional stinker, and sometimes it's not always so occasional. But he knows that he's got to improve, and I'm sure he's putting in the time and effort to make that happen. And as I say, he does bring the vibes at times, and he also does bring the hill time and everything along those lines. But still, nonetheless, in this one, he had pretty much like all his teammates hill time here. He had over a minute, but he did have 6 kills. Now, he doesn't really care about the kills. It's more about what he's doing for the team and stuff. But still, if you're dropping 6 kills, you're probably not going to win the game. City was throwing the daggers in. The community has been throwing the daggers in to a certain degree. And yeah, that famous clip from a few years ago from Formal saying 7-7 to Doug has unfortunately got away, and it's now going to be 6. So honestly, on this record, in a few years' time, in Modern Warfare 2025 or whatever, I don't know, in 3 years' time, whatever Infinity Ward come out with next, he's going to be dropping 5. So give it another couple of decades, he'll be down to the donut in hardpoints. Or maybe he can even push the record a bit further this season, because we're only a week into the game and he's already dropped 6. There's still a long more time to improve for Doug Censor. So very much enjoyed your thoughts and all this type of stuff in the comment section below. And Doug probably, realizes he might well need to get better going forward if he wants to actually contend with this Boston Academy roster. Their team is actually pretty good. It's not going to be one of the best teams in challenges, I think, on current merit, but it definitely has the potential to get up there in that ballpark. They came 3rd in the BP next tourney. They could have probably made it to the finals, but probably would have lost to Exceed's team, the LAG Academy, that won over there. Quick comment on GAs and attachments here from Arcitys. I can't do it with all these attachments. Anyone down to GA, all of them. And apparently this was his M4 that Dashy was using earlier, so just thought I'd mention it for you guys. Apparently some of these are not exactly frowned upon, but some of this stuff is GA'd or whatever, but still, that's what apparently Dashy was using. Maybe things have changed over there because Arcitys reckons, he's not using that, no chance that he's getting away with that one, right? Because I think some of these attachments are getting GA'd very rapidly indeed, and it's such a messy thing with the whole tuning situation as well, because theoretically, let's say an attachment is overpowered, but you say, you know what, if we tune it in this way, all the way to the right, all the way to the top, then actually it's not overpowered anymore. It's like, damn, I can understand why Arcitys and these pros might want to just get rid of attachments entirely to make it a little bit easier. Just to finish off with a couple of things, thought this is hilarious. OpTic did a video last night drawing CDL logos, and man, Dashy's stuff was an absolute work of art. It was incredible how Dashy is like, it started off with this. This is OpTic Texas's logo apparently, and he started off like this, and he seemed to be pretty impressed with himself on this one, and then every other one he did got progressively worse from this. So actually kind of incredible that was even possible, to be honest. But yeah, it was pretty funny, the ones that Scump was coming up with effectively. It does seem like those guys pretty much put all their experience points when they spawned in into Call of Duty ability and not necessarily artwork, but I can't really talk. I don't think I'd do a much better job than that either. It was just entertaining. And just the final thing here from Doug Lieb, former analyst for the Los Angeles Guerrillas. He asked the question as to how many rookies that have come in over the last several years. So over the last 4 or 5 seasons, 74 players played their first game. How many of those played for one more year afterwards? The answer is 37. So pretty much half of players, exactly half of players that joins the Pro League remain for one more season. So it just kind of goes to show it's really difficult well, you can look at this 2 ways. Either you stay around for one more year, pretty good stuff. Like you join in, you play for one more season, impressive. And in the CDL, out of 28 rookies that have been called up, only 13 have played another year. So just goes to show how difficult it is. You can get called up for one season or even for a couple of months as a rookie player, and you've got less than a 50% chance of playing another year in the scene. And then if you go 2 years in, then I guess your chance of 3 years is higher, but it's still difficult, right? The league is highly competitive, but very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.